Hey everybody, I'd like to welcome you to the Media8tor with me, Brian West and Dan Moore, Dan the Man. We got my man Stubbs over here, and he is talking about the Veterans Service Commission, and he's going to be telling us about what it is they're doing and why so many people fail to know what the Veterans Service Commission does for veterans. So tell us a little bit about the Veterans Service Commission.
Well, let me tell you about myself.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm Delmas Stubbs. I grew up in the area. I went to South High School. After I graduated, I went to the military. 22 years, Army. You know, everybody can see that right there. Still sponsoring it. Still stand up on the principles that I was taught or that I learned. And I did some time in D.C., working out in D.C., and then came back to Youngstown. Took a job down in Veterans Service Commission around 6 months ago, and been loving it ever since. So the position that I was hired for was a community outreach coordinator. And you know, when I was hired for the outreach as the outreach coordinator, I had a lot of questions to the command or to the director and assistant director and the board on exactly what I was going to do. And it kind of like opened up the door for me to do all these projects. So it kind of gave me, we just did the laying of the roses. I was very instrumental in trying to get everything done with laying of the roses, the veterans program down at the courthouse, and, you know, other veterans things that's going on in the community. And right now, you know, I work with different agencies, you know, different agencies, MyCap and service support or soldier support services that help, especially homeless veterans. The mayor of Youngstown has an initiative, which is nationwide, to reduce homeless veterans in the community. And he has a board, and the board is comprised of agencies throughout the Mahoning and Trumbull County. And we have a couple of agencies from the Trumbull, Columbiana County that sits on there, and we deal with veterans, homeless issues in this area.
Now around the holidays, I know it's probably got to get hectic. Has it been hectic down there for the holidays?
You know, one of the things about the holidays, especially with the changing of the weather, you know, I've came across a few people that came out and with heating issues and stuff like that. So I was able to coordinate with some other agencies in the community to help those veterans to get their furnaces fixed and stuff like that. We do got some we also giving some relief in conjunction with some other organizations in the community, you know, like with veterans that have small children. You know, veterans, I mean, not just because you was in the military doesn't mean you're going to come out, you're going to make $100,000 a year or whatever have you. I mean, the struggle is real. And the struggle is maintained or it continues. So like everyone else in the community, veterans, like myself and you, Dan, they come back and they have troubles probably relating in the community or finding employment. Even though everybody says, "Oh, we're going to hire a veteran,"
but they don't.
But these veterans are still unemployed.
So tell us what people don't know. I mean, do you find the veterans jobs? I mean, what have you got?
I work with a lot of people. I mean, you know, since I've been working at the Veterans Service Commission, it has been a blessing on how many connections that I've made in the community and how many people that I, you know, work with on a daily basis, you know, with employment, with, you know, housing, with food, with utility assistance, with getting housing fixed or whatever it may be. You know, a lot of veterans, if you think about it, I mean, you guys was in the military. And when you go to a military installation, everybody may not know this. A military installation is no different than Youngstown, Ohio.
I believe it.
With a fence around it or a wall around it. And within that containment, and on that military installation, that veteran or that military member has access to every resource that is here in the community. We, you know, at the military base, they have their own hospital. We have our own police. We have our own fire system. We have our own grocery store. We have our own corner stores per se. We have our own housing community. So when you talking about when the old adage which says takes a village to raise a child, that when you dealing with active duty service members or people that live around the installation, that village is the military community, and they take care of each other through social services. That you know, they social work, whatever. If you have a problem as a military member, you go to your first sergeant, your supervisor, your commander.
Yeah.
I got a problem with PTSD. We'll talk about that a little bit later, Dan.
Right. Yeah, I did bring that up. I'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll mention that. But we have a problem with PTSD. They're gonna send you to the right people that's sitting in the right chairs to take care of that particular problem. But when they come back home to their Dallas, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, Youngstown, where we're at now, those services are hard to get to because there's no direct connect.
Yeah.
And what I think the goal of the commission and the director when is to kind of bridge that gap to make sure that we do wraparound services for these veterans. Because if a veteran says I got a problem, our job down there is to make sure that veteran gets to the right places and get that problem squared away.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's good.
So now you guys, I mean, how do you like the administration down there? I mean, I know you guys deal with. I know this is like a national thing. Is there a Veterans Commission in every community?
Not in every community, and different states have different things. Like in Pennsylvania, they have a vet center, and I don't think that vet center does as much work as we do. And I know that they have a mobile van that goes out to different places. But in the state of Ohio, there's 88 counties.
Yeah.
And there's a Veterans Service Commission in every county in the state of Ohio. So if wherever that veteran goes, he can go to Youngstown or he can go to Meigs County down by Ohio University, which is a small community.
Yeah.
They have Veterans Service officers there that can help them out if they need, financial assistance, utility assistance. If they have if those veterans want to file a disability claim, and a lot of people come out the military. I mean, and I use myself as an example. I had a piece of shrapnel. I got hit with a piece of shrapnel in my collarbone, and when I exited the military, they did my knees because I had bad knees. I got bad back. I broke my ankle, had surgery a couple times, tore my rotator cuff. They got all of that stuff down. They said, okay, well we'll consider those disabilities because you don't have full mobility. But they didn't rate the shrapnel in my collarbone. Maybe miss oversight. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
So when I got back and I sat down and I looked over my records, I realized, wow, they never rated me for my collarbone. Because everybody tells me, you got a piece of metal inside of you. So I had to sit down with this Veteran Service Commission and say, hey, look, I got a piece of metal inside of me from the military. So I just sent it with the Veteran Service Commission. You sit down with a service officer, and we got some super service officers. These guys are really good at what they do. And they sit down, we do a packet, sent it up to VA, and VA giving me compensation for the metal that's floating around in my chest.
Yeah. Now, do a lot of people get the VA and the Veteran Service Commission mixed up?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
See, and everybody calls us, okay, you're the VA. No, we work for the state. We are a county office. The Veterans Administration is a federal program that falls up under the Veterans Administration.
Okay.
So we are a county, and the veterans are federal.
Okay. All right. Now, Dan, I think you wanted to ask him about PSD.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about we're talking about veterans and homeless veterans. Do you see a connection there with PTSD, veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan? I mean, as far as them not being able to hold a full-time job.
Well,
because you certainly need a job to pay rent. Or,
Dan,
buy a house. So
me personally,
how much of a problem is PTSD?
Well, I can't tell you how much a problem it is. I can't do that. But what I can do is does the veterans that are coming home back to this area are some of them suffering from PTSD? I'm sure.
Yeah. And
when you deal with medical, we don't have a privy to really get into your medical records because that is protected by regulation. However, if you go to the VA and you are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome, you can actually come back to our office and you can file a claim based on your veterans doctor's diagnosis. Now, every Monday, or every other Monday, we have a therapist that comes down to our office.
Right, that's good.
And her Tracy Jordan.
Okay.
And she comes down from Cleveland. She works with the VA, and she does therapeutic treatment with these veterans,
Yeah.
especially Vietnam veterans.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, so Vietnam War, them guys was kind of like brought home, dropped off on the bus,
Right.
and and that was it.
So like PTSD is basically that's long-term treatment for some veterans.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, when you think about the wars we were in. If you go from war to war, World War I, World War II, the soldiers came back heroes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Vietnam War, the Korean War, they weren't as much on the radar in Americans' eyes, and Vietnam veterans were shunned.
Yeah.
And with this Afghanistan and Iraq, America is now seeing soldiers coming back, soldiers, airmen, sailors. When I say soldiers, or I'm speaking across the military, across the services, when they see these guys coming back, it's more open to the public. It's
Yeah.
not hidden.
Yeah.
So these guys are coming back with problems or issues, and you see it by some of the actions that some of these guys take without treatment. So with treatment, diagnosis, and going in to see the doctor, they even have up at the VA. They have every Wednesday they have PTSD group where these people that come in with PTSD, they sit down and have a group session.
Now, we talk about the Veterans Commission, and people they're always so quick to like throw stones at the negative things. So tell us a little bit about does the media you think the media is fair to the Veterans Commission and the VA?
Well, when you talk about throw stones, you really talking about two different entities.
I don't want to say throw stones, but it seems like there's always a lot of negative press that kind of gets noticed. But I see when I was saved by the VA, and I think sometimes they don't talk about the positive things that the VA has done and what they're actually going through, and how you guys are kind of short staffed sometimes. Do you think do you think that's a fair statement?
So, but see, when you that statement you just made, you got to remember we two separate
But I'm
entities.
talking about the Veterans Commission too, because it's the same thing. I've been helped by Barry Landgraver. He helped me out.
Right. So with the Veterans Commission, we don't have a big staff. We don't have a large staff, but we make our appointments, and some people you got to understand this, and I'm gonna talk about this one particular case where we had a guy that called in, that came in, had an appointment, wasn't pleased.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that we have requirements too. We have restrictions.
I see. Yeah.
A person comes in for
Right.
for some assistance or relief. We got restrictions. So if we tell you, well, you need to go get a Social Security card, you got to get your Social Security card, because until you get your Social Security card,
you can't help you.
You're denied for benefits. So when I send you the letter, I'm gonna say you've been denied. You already know from what we talked about in that appointment what you were missing
Right.
to make you qualify. But if you don't, but now what happens is that those people go out and tell my friend, oh, they didn't help me, and then you get the bad word of
see.
mouth.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't help me. They don't tell their friend that I forgot my Social Security card, or that's why I was denied. They dropped my case. They put my case to the side because they didn't have my Social Security card, and now I'm telling everybody it's a bad thing.
Now, how do y'all deal with stuff like that? Is there a way to deal with it?
We talk. We go back to that person.
Yeah.
And we discuss with them why again. What the shortcoming was, and this is what we did. But once that particular client fulfilled his obligation, or he got the required documentation, we went on ahead and processed him, and guess what? He good to go now. He got what he needed. He's back whole again. I like to use that word. He's back whole again. But then guess what? You never go back and told those people what the things that we did now. And that's just like with the VA. I know the VA was
Pessimism.
right. And the VA was under an overwhelming pressure because they deal with a lot of veterans, especially now. See, veterans are smarter than they was back in the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Technology brings everything at your fingertips. So these veterans is coming back, looking on their smartphones and tablets, and they know when they walk into the VA what they're looking for. So, and they know that the services that they have at the VA. So these guys now are using the VA because back in the day we got Vietnam veterans that never enrolled in VA care. You got veterans in World War II that had never enrolled in VA care, came back, got into the workforce, and back then it was popular in the area, which was the steel mill, LTV, and Republic Steel,
Youngstown
Sheet and Tube. They got jobs with these agencies, and guess what? Once they got out the agency, they had health insurance, they had life insurance.
Yeah,
life was good. But now that there's no economic stronghold in Youngstown, people coming back, they're unemployed.
So the economy is really affected.
The economy is bad. So what do most people do now? Say, okay, well, a benefit that I earn is I can possibly enroll for VA healthcare. So they enrolled in VA healthcare. The numbers are up compared to the other people that came back early in life.
Yeah. So I'm seeing different angles before we get you out of here. Now, there's some positives and there's like a lot of negatives, and I think Dan was talking about how you see a lot of people coming in with PTSD and you see a lot of different things, but you were talking about how you guys have really been helping it. Now, tell us a little bit about your formula and how you say you were talking about how you call the community to talk to what the like the other nonprofits are doing. Do you think that is a formula that could be used to kind of help out a little bit more, especially
I think so. I really like the way the Veterans Commission and the efforts you're doing to network and collaborate, and form partnerships and relationships with other organizations.
Because I've never heard anybody. That might be a unique formula. That you got going there.
Man, look here. Let me tell you what the formula start with. Caring.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you care, and you got compassion for what you do, everything else is gonna fall into place.
Yeah.
I've been, working with agencies is not nothing new to me. So before I start working with the Veteran Service Commission, I go to school at YSU for social work.
Oh, okay.
So I was meeting these people in school and keeping in touch with them.
Yeah.
So when I ring that phone and say, hey, look, I'm Delmas Stubbs. I'm with the Veteran Service Commission. They may not know me as the Veteran Service Commission. They may know me as that student.
Yeah.
But now I have this. I work in the same capacity as a social worker.
Yeah.
So when I reach out, somebody call me about a heater, or somebody call me and say, hey, look, I'm going to get evicted out of my house.
Yeah.
My thing is not to say, okay, well, we can't help you. You know what I'm saying? My thing is to see how we can help you, how we can empower you. Right. But see, what I like to do is I say, okay, we're gonna help you get your we're gonna reach out to a different. We might have to. We may not be able to do it in our office right away. I mean, you got to think about it. We got 5 service officers, 2 investigators in there that does financial assistance. Their schedules may be booked solid. But you get somebody to say, okay, my car broke down, I'm in the middle of I-80, I ain't got no money, but baby need milk.
Yeah.
If I can get an agency out there to help you out, I'm going to get on the phone.
That's amazing.
I'm going to get on the phone, and we're going to work with that agency until somebody get out there, give your baby some work, you get your car started or get it towed away one. That's compassion. We don't have to go that extra mile, or I don't have to go that extra mile either. But I'm gonna tell you, I got a super director, Susan Serinsky.
Yeah.
Or Krawcheck. Susan Krawcheck is a super director, and she supports me and stand by what I'm doing. What I believe in. I don't want to take all the credit.
Yeah.
Because I gotta confer and she brings different ideas and we work collaboratively to make sure that these veterans get taken care of with their issues on a daily basis.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The way I look at it, because of the fact that you've been able to establish the ground game, and it's amazing because you called me, so that lets me know that's been something. You called me, he called me, he said, "Hey, Brian, tell me what." How I can get on the show to kind of let people know. I guess like the kind of close it things out. I guess the question is like, what is it that people really don't know that much about the Veterans Commission? Tell us why a lot of people don't know that much. So tell us like some of the programs or some of the things that you guys do, like just some of the basic benefits that you guys offer to most veterans.
So we have a utility assistance program during the winter months.
That's good.
Okay, so you got to qualify. You got to be a veteran. You got to sit down and talk to one of our financial people. You got to do a packet and stuff like that. We do claims.
Okay.
If your dad, your mom, or even you were, or if you are a Mahoning County resident, and you pass away, you have a burial benefit that the county gives you. You know, people may not know that. It's not in Trumbull County. It's just in Mahoning. We do you know, aid in attendance. Moses Murphy, which is he's a super guy, and I joke with him all the time, and everybody knows him because he deals with the elderly.
Yeah.
He deals with the elderly. He deals with nursing home issues. He deals with those veterans that's in the nursing home. He deals with Medicare and Medicaid to make sure that them veterans in the nursing home are squared away. Okay. You know, or getting a little bit money, and widows. Yeah. We do widow assistance.
Okay.
So I mean, you've got to really. The thing about it is that you know we got to be educated.
Yeah.
We got to be informed.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, with agencies that you're not informed. You know about let's just give you you know about McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know McDonald's sells hamburgers, but what else do you know about McDonald's? Do you know how they clean their floors? You know the soap they use. So, and I use that as an analogy to say you got your MyCaps out there. You got your HEAP. You got your PIP.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't know about those programs,
right,
how can you empower somebody to learn about them? Yeah. You know, I went to a PIP. They had a PIP program for workers or for first-hand supervisors in Akron. I was so enlightened by the PIP, just the PIP program.
Just the way it is.
Just how it's set up. You know, just because your heat is off, that doesn't mean your heat got to stay off. Because PIP says, okay, we're going to help you pay your bill. We're going to give you so much money towards that bill, and we're going to get your heat turned on. You ain't got to go heatless all winter long.
Yeah.
And based on when we get that heat on, we're going to put you on a payment plan where you only pay $20, $30, $40, $50 a month. You know, so people gotta but they gotta want it. You know, but you know, my thing too is that when you go out and you help a veteran, but I want you to get empowered.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a guy that called me and said, hey, look, I got some jobs. I want to give them to veterans.
Yeah.
But then, do them veterans want to go out there and do them jobs?
Do the jobs.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can help you out, but at some point in time, I want you to be empowered. You know what I mean?
But it is.
So you're encouraged. We'll help. We'll help you, but we also encourage you to be self-reliant.
Right. Self-reliance, and like the YWCA, MyCap, they have programs like that. Job assistance programs. The MyCap got a program right now because she was just at my office. What we do, and I'm gonna get to that, and we might not end this real quick. So I got
no. I mean, do it. Say. I mean, this is for the
MyCap. MyCap has a program where you go out there and I think you spend maybe 4 or 5 days, 6 days, go to like a job training, and then they'll pay you. She'll give you. I don't know how much the amount is, but how can you when you go to school, you pay to learn.
Yeah.
But she telling them, saying, you come to school and we're going to pay you to learn.
Wow, that's
you can't
amazing.
beat that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if she gave you a bus pass and she gave you $200 at the end of that training program, guess what? You walked in not knowing. You came out empowered and educated. Plus, you can buy your own bus pass now.
So this is federal money that's being put to good use, and you believe that, and I can see and you seeing results from these programs, a lot of results.
You got to get people to use them. You got to get people to come out and do them.
Oh.
You know, so I mean, I don't know what MyCap numbers is. Like, you know, like with us, you know, I can't tell you what their numbers is, but all I'm doing is just talking to you about an agency that we work with.
Yeah.
You know, that agency that I may call up does this program. The particulars about that program I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But we can talk about it here now, and a person may look at this and say, let me call them up and see what they're talking about.
That's amazing.
Because it's about education. I can't give you all the education. I'll just give you a tidbit. But it's about empowerment. Now that you got that information, if you watch it right now and you heard that, and now you got that information, what you going to do with it? Are you going to go out there and make that phone call to say, I want to know more?
Right.
I want to learn more. You know, that's on you now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I'm seeing that you starting to see. It seems like you're seeing results, and it seems like you've developed almost like a personal relationship with a lot of people that you've helped. Is that the right way to put it?
I mean, I guess I'm becoming a little bit more familiar in the community.
Well,
you know?
I mean, you call, you seem like, so you know how you could tell some people who go out and navigate. You putting your skills to the table here, and it's rare that you see that. You hear, and I think that's what it takes, is the fact that when you go to a nonprofit organization or anybody who's federally funded, they have to go out and go out and see what's happening. So you doing your job, and that's amazing. You call in, and when you go on the clock, I see you putting your hours to good use, and that's amazing. And I think that's what most people look for when they looking for any services from anybody, is how the people are and how they're working together with the people in the community. So that's excellent. I guess the last question I had, the last little tidbit I had was, how do people get to the level of when they can basically recycling the information? Like, you know how some people, they get a program and they users basically. Do you see people who want to contribute back to the Veterans Commission, or do you just see people just utilizing the services and not actually getting anything, or just using it but not really bettering themselves? This is a question that a lot of people have about programs that are funded. Like, it's almost like feeding somebody and not actually. Basically what I'm saying is, are you seeing some productivity out of the people that need these services? Are they getting?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, with clients is different. It's you go from one client to client.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do see clients that come out there and get empowered.
Okay.
We got a young we got a young guy now. Uses our services. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it comes a time in a person's life that everybody may need some help. Some people, and the thing about it is, a lot of people are ashamed to ask. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So when you are ashamed to ask, or you don't get empowered. But this guy is really is stepping out and said, you know what? I mean, hey, look, I'm going active duty. You know what I'm saying? I apply for active duty. I'm going back in the military.
That's good.
That's good.
So you seeing something? Yeah.
I mean, you see it. You do see it. I mean, but one of the biggest things is just one of the gratifications of what I do, when I'm working with people, is thank you.
Yeah.
You really do.
Right.
You really do like to hear a person say thank you sometimes.
Right.
Because a lot of people, you provide services, you taking out your time, pounding your head against the desk, making all these calls and thinking about what strategic move that you can make next to get this person squared away. And at the end, they say, okay, see you later. But that thank you is a whole lot better. So no matter when that time comes, and that thank you is really well appreciated. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
do you have like a website or a phone number?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm glad you said that, because I always tell people, if you on Facebook, can I look at them? If you on Facebook,
yeah, go ahead, look at it.
And if you not friends with the Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission website, we got on Facebook. We got a Facebook site. You wrong, because I'm gonna tell you why you wrong. Because there's so much information that gets put up on Veterans Service Facebook page, you can never say you have never been informed. If you go on that page right now, it would tell you about turkey giveaways, ham giveaways, other things that's going on in the community, what's going on at YSU. Matter of fact, and I'm glad we ain't stopped this interview yet, because there's probably some more I got. My brain just recycling now. I'm just
let it come.
Just letting the cards roll.
Yeah, this is what it's for.
Youngstown State University, that they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So what happened was that one of the main food chains, I can't really tell you who it was. I don't want to give no bad information, but one of the main food chains, they bought 300 tickets to the playoff game for YSU's playoff game this Saturday. And guess what? All you gotta do is go over there and prove that you're a veteran, and you'll get 2 free tickets to the game.
Oh,
that's amazing.
I might even go get me some free.
Yeah, that information is up on our website, and our website is on Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission on Facebook, and you'll learn so much, you'll see so much. I mean, we've put up on the Facebook page about Veterans Choice.
Yeah.
Veteran Choice is a program through the VA that a lot of people have an appointment. You got to go to the VA. But Veterans Choice is that if your caregiver, you work with the VA and the VA says, okay, instead of sending you to Cleveland, you can get an appointment down here in Youngstown.
Yeah.
So just say I'm just going to use this as an example. You need to go to the dentist. You had to go to VA, but you can't drive all that way. You can go to Dr. Hubbard's office over there on Indianola.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's some information up there about the football tickets.
Okay.
Information about some food giveaways and turkey giveaways and what's going on at YSU. Free stuff. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I really learned in life some of the best things are free. And when we are taking that effort to show you, you can never say there's nothing to do.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good. I don't want to get into politics, but I guess we're going to approach it from an even standpoint. Now, we have a new administration, and we see the ability of people wanting to help out VA and veterans, and not just the Veterans Commission, but you see a lot of we had in the Trump campaign where he was supposedly donated money and things like that, and then you see presidents like Obama and his administration, when they stepped in, they really tried to honor. You seen a lot of veterans get honored that were not honored before. So I guess we're not going to go politics, but I guess out of all of what we've seen, the progression that we've seen over the years of people actually starting to see how much veterans actually mean to society. So what do you expect out of this administration and the people involved now that we have to have another 4 years? I mean, what do you expect them to do? Can they do anything more?
I really hate to talk politics.
Well, we're not talking, but I guess.
This is. I'll give you from this perspective. The last 4 years have seen a major change in even the military services.
Okay.
You've seen those soldiers that were sent over to Iraq. They were brought home.
Okay.
You still see guys over in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
As a veteran, as a member of society now, that has worn a uniform, over in those foreign lands, where their rainstorms is made of sand.
Yeah.
I would really expect for the administration to continue to support those men and women that are over there that help keep our democracy free.
What about the people though? What about the people, like the citizens? What do you expect from them? From the people in this country? Because like you see, you was talking about Vietnam. There was once upon a time where people were spitting on Vietnam veterans and things like that.
Right, exactly. I understand that. It's war, military. Let's just say military. Militaries have been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah, that's true.
And militaries were constructed to protect land, property, and people.
Yeah.
Go back to biblical days. It was militaries.
Absolutely.
I mean, they may not have been the Air Force or the Marines or the Navy going in the ocean, but there were militaries that protected its people.
Right.
We still have to maintain a sense of strength in the United States.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? The military is going to continue to go on, and we still need people to join. We still need people
volunteers.
It's an all volunteer military. Absolutely. So, we still need those numbers. We still need kids to join. You know what I mean? I'm healthy. I'm here now. So
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I would expect them to continue to support all militaries in their endeavors. I know I'm supporting my little Army hat, but
for the holidays.
Yes. Well, I would like to say, this election has been very, very unique in the aspect that it did put the spotlight on Northeast Ohio, and the fact that we are in the Rust Belt, what's called the Rust Belt, and the brownfields, and how there has been a slow, painful decline of manufacturing and industrial base. A lot of steel mills that are no longer. We've lost a lot of major employers, with not only Youngstown but also Warren, Ohio, and due to possibly bad trade agreements that make it too easy for manufacturers to go to Mexico or China or RG Steel or Copper Weld had to close down because they couldn't compete with lower priced Chinese steel, and so I'd like to see the spotlight continue to be on Northeast Ohio because we do need more economic development.
Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, we need more opportunities.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I really do think that our economy needs to grow. I mean, if you look over the past 20 years, the Mahoning Valley has constantly declined in population.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you talking about a city once that maybe had 500, 1 million people. We down at 217,000 or something like that. I mean, and it's been a steady decline. Do you know that I was in Atlanta and I seen 25, 30 people with Mahoning County license plates on their cars. I pulled up beside someone at a red light in Atlanta, and they're from Youngstown, Ohio. Just look at Columbus. How many people from Youngstown moved to Columbus?
Yeah.
How do we suppose to get those people back here in Youngstown?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, so the only way that people is going to come back here is if we have jobs.
Yeah.
The employment. So giving people empowerment. It goes back to me. It goes back to empowerment. You got to empower the people to make their lives better. I mean,
exactly.
And if I don't give you that empowerment, and you don't know how to get the empowerment, your life you're going to stay right where you're at. You know what I mean?
So you'd like to probably see a lot of these military veterans get into a position where maybe they consider starting their own business. And become,
you know what I'm going to tell you?
And actually, military veterans becoming job creators.
And it could very well happen, but we got to have this. We got to also have a community that supports it too. I can create a business, but if the community doesn't support my business, and I know my business is good, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move to Columbus.
Right.
I'm gonna move to Atlanta.
We do have to have mutual cooperation. We have
to
have solidarity, and I see that you're doing everything possible to help create that atmosphere within the Veterans Commission.
Thank you.
And when we was talking earlier, and then I'll let you get out of here, is you talked about a modest administration where lack of ignorance to the issues, and I like that about you. Integrity, pretty much, when we approach the issue. So it sounds like that's pretty much what you're looking for out of this administration, is a little bit more respect and integrity when it comes to matters that you, especially when you're working. And I think that's what I got out of you. So
well, I tell you, I mean, like, I go back to that allegory, about the village.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the village consists of its members. The members support each other.
Absolutely.
And so with the administration and at all governments, I would really, expect them to support everyone, not only military members, but everyone.
Absolutely.
See, because the military, veterans are just a small part of a community. But I mean, if we can work throughout the communities, in communities, informing people in communities, to take better care of their properties.
Yeah. Right.
To take care of their leaves. But we got you a job. We created jobs here, and these jobs are not only, and their jobs are distributed equally among the members of the community. Of the community.
They had that problem in the Great Depression, where they would give out jobs and contracts, but they wouldn't give them to certain parts of the community.
Exactly.
And it caused a riot, and then we see the same thing happening in this new environment where you got so many people in need of good jobs, and they go to one particular community and they give, whether it's a racial thing or anything.
Or outsourcing. I mean, I'm here to talk about the veterans. We talking about everything now. So
no, because this has a lot to do with the veterans. And this is probably it's a reason why we brought up this. But you're talking about the right thing, because veterans need jobs.
Well, we need jobs. So one of the things that really just got with me is that I was working in an industry a couple years back where they're saying, okay, well, we're going to bring these jobs to the Mahoning County or Mahoning Valley, Trumbull County, Mahoning Valley, but when you talk to the people that was working on site, these people was from Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and other various places throughout the southern states.
Yeah.
You didn't talk to anybody that was from down the street in Trumbull County.
Yeah.
Or talk to somebody that was down the street in Mahoning County, or someone that you identify with that you went to high school and played football with.
Yeah.
These people that was working in these positions, which were good paying jobs. In our community, they were outsourced for people to come from out of town to do these jobs. Now, one of the things with that was education.
Yeah.
These people down south in this particular industry, they had experience in these different areas or fields.
Yeah.
But how hard would it take to start a training program if you know that we're gonna put poles in the ground and we're gonna start climbing poles? How hard would it be to say, okay, we're gonna have a pole climbing class here on this date and this time for these jobs that's coming to Youngstown?
Excellent.
And all you gotta do is climb poles.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna tell me I'm gonna climb poles for $60,000 a year, sign me up. My name is number one on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you don't afford those opportunities of training for people, people don't know.
Yeah.
So guess what happens? You're going to go get the people that do know.
Yeah.
And it's not in this area.
Yeah.
It's not in this area.
Well, I see. I want to thank you for coming on, Mr. Stubbs, and sharing your thoughts. And I think we can see, like I said, more jobs for veterans, not just for veterans, but people in need of jobs. Like you
for
said,
the whole community.
And Dan, before we close out, did you have any last comments, Dan?
It's just been a real pleasure meeting you today, and hopefully you can come back and talk with us again in the near future. And
cool.
I would encourage all our the audience to go to Facebook and to find out what's happening. And if you maybe you're not a veteran yourself, but you definitely refer other veterans and someone who may need help, not know where to turn to.
Yeah.
That the help is there, and I would just encourage people to stay involved.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna I'll probably try to put a hyperlink on the site too, so people can click. When they click, it'll go straight. So send me the link to the to y'all Facebook page once we get out of here.
Okay, sounds good.
Any last comments, Mr. Stubbs?
During this time is maybe a little bit stressful for people. It's Christmas time.
I believe it.
So I want people to know that there's places, agencies that you can turn to.
Yeah.
There's people that you can talk to.
Yeah.
If you need to talk to somebody.
Right.
We have that information on our page. You can go to our Mahoning County Veterans Service Commission page. We have links there. We just did the page. We revamped it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the hottest pages in Ohio right now.
Yeah.
But you remember that there's somebody out there that has it probably worse than you, that's going through the same things as you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through some things right now in my life that is probably will be life changing here in the future.
Absolutely.
So get a safety pin. Get a safety pin, and you put that safety pin in your pocket. And when you feel that things are falling apart, things are not going your way, you can always pull out that safety pin. And put it all back together.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's poetic. That's poetry right there. Well, I want to thank you for coming on The Mediator. We're the mediators of democracy. We try to find truth in every story and actually find some solutions. So the solution is right here, the Veterans Commission. Thank you so much, Mr. Stubbs, for coming on the show, and I salute you, my brother.
I salute you.
Same here.
Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is